We're all here to celebrate the groundbreaking of this park, long-term project. First, let me introduce my fellow council members, Vice Mayor Chris Wang, Councilmember Dolly Sandoval, Councilmember Mark Santoro, Councilmember Gilbert Wong, City Manager Dave Knapp, Park and Rec Mark Linder, and of course Ralph Qualls, our Public Works Director. So all of whom played a very important part in where we are today. Really, and I'm glad that that later on, Dolly's going to be able to come up here. I think it's very appropriate that we do this groundbreaking on her last day as a city council member, because she certainly was early and often the champion for this effort here and for making sure that this part of the city got appropriately parked, if that's a correct word, and that appropriately had the right levels of opportunities for recreation. And it's just a start. We still have plans to try to work it out so down the road here we can actually have another park that's a little bit larger and ties in with the trail and everything, but that's for the future. So for today, we're all here on a very nice day to celebrate this. And last night we approved the rezoning for it. We approved the contract to move ahead with it. So you should start, besides the little bit of dirt we're going to be moving today, you should start seeing some major dirt getting moved in the next few months. So with that, let me introduce our Vice Mayor, Chris Wang, soon to be mayor. Those of you who don't have anything to do tonight can come and witness all the appropriate celebrations tonight, to have our new council members come on board and to officially say goodbye to Dolly tonight as well. So, Chris?
Thank you. Welcome all to the newest park we're going to have. Being on council for 6 years, I can tell you this is not an easy task. I think everybody involved, and Dave, Mark, Ruff, and Terry Green there, and all the other folks know that this is really an easy job. Many years we're talking about, neighborhood come forward, wanting to have a neighborhood park here, and the cost and everything. So every year, the mid-year budget time, this item got brought up. We should not spend so much money on this. And knowing that we're facing the finance challenges through the last couple of years or longer. So anyhow, I'm glad that we're here today. We're about to groundbreaking, and I know, and I have to mention that Dolly really put a lot of efforts and pushed this park. And I guess the only thing I feel that we probably missing is to invite the old council member who also involved in this, right? That was Richard Lowenthal and Sandra James, Patrick Claw. They're also put a lot of efforts and weighed into this park. So we will invite them when the park is ready to the grand opening. All right, thank you very much.
We can all clap.
You guys doing okay today? You gotta really make noise because we need the neighbors to get used to children playing out here. So are you guys doing good? Yeah. There you go. Hey, it's been my pleasure, first of all, to have served on the city council for 8 years and appreciate the support of the community in helping us move good policy forward as well as move good programs and projects forward. This project came to my attention just as I was starting to run for city council. I met Pat Bustamante and a number of other residents in this area who pointed out to me that this Rancho Rinconada area was very underparked. We don't have the square footage of parks compared to other parts in our city, and that it was incumbent upon leaders on the city council to make sure that we do something about that. As I started exploring this a little bit and started working with San Jose Water and asking the staff to follow up, we overcame a number of hurdles, primarily cost. Not everything comes as easy to local government as we would like, and San Jose Water Company definitely held out long and hard for an amount that they thought was appropriate for this parcel because it could be housing someday. My former colleagues that Chris mentioned, as well as my current colleagues, did hear me time and time again, as well as many of you here in the community, stressing the need for a park in this area. So I am proud to say that while we'd like to think that Pat and many of the other neighbors right in this area have worked hard on this, this was an original thought through the county, Santa Clara County Parks and Recreation Department back in the early 90s, and was actually put in a plan that I have from 1999. The funny part about this is I thought way a long time ago, when would I ever use this kind of a plan? Today's the day. And so as I leave the council, I may have to give all of my books to Gail and Terry and Carmen and others to make sure that they stay on somebody's list. Because not only do we see a park groundbreaking here today, we'll see a park here in a few months. What we really have, though, is an opportunity to really grow parks in this area by trying to ascertain another piece of property owned by the county over here for part of the linear park for the trail that goes behind us, which is also the San Tomas Aquino Saratoga Creek Trail plan. So government doesn't work in a vacuum, and government doesn't do its best job by itself. Government does its best job when community residents are helping to advise the leaders that are sitting up on the dais, like Pat and others in this area that have done that over the last 8 and previous years before I was on the city council. But it's incumbent as residents in this area, if you want to see more park services, that you stay active, you stay involved, you push the council during budget time to make sure they're continuing discussions with the county to ascertain that other part so that we have a real nice addition, a second nice addition to our city parklands other than this one. So it's been my pleasure to work on this. This certainly is not an effort done by one, but it's an effort done by many. And so, Dave, I'd like to thank you, Ralph, you, and Mark, you, for your tenacity in helping us ascertain this. I'd like to publicly thank my colleagues on the council that voted, I think, the last time to spend the money to acquire this parcel. And thank you, neighbors, for making sure that we're keeping our nose and eyes on this project and this parcel, make sure that it happens. So thank you. And we'll go enjoy it in the wintertime. Thanks.
Good afternoon. I'm Mark Linder, Director of Cupertino Parks and Recreation, and I thank you all for being here. I get to do acknowledgments, which is a very fun thing to do because you get to acknowledge the wonderful people that have put all this together. And I do want to acknowledge the elected officials over a period of time, the Parks and Recreation Commission who's been involved with this. We have Commissioner Greenstein with us here today, and our city manager, David Knapp, who provides a lot of leadership in this whole area, and also our Public Works partners. Public Works makes it happen, and then they turn it over to Parks and Recreation, but then Public Works maintains it. So they're an important partner for us. We help program it. I also want to acknowledge my predecessor, Therese Smith. Therese was the woman who, as the director, kind of facilitated all the neighborhood meetings. I think Donna Hendricks was telling me that you had to attend all of those and take all the notes, and Donna's here today as well as my administrative assistant. And lastly, and very importantly, I want to thank the neighborhood. This was a very active, interactive project, a lot of neighborhood involvement. The design was really a neighborhood design, and I'm counting on the neighborhood to keep it clean and safe once it gets open. Democracy sometimes goes slowly, so your persistence is paid off. And if you really are committed to your community, you will keep pushing, and keep pushing until something happens that's important to you. So thank you very much.
Well, before we turn some dirt over here, so again, I'd like to give my own thanks to staff, and it really starts with everybody on a city staff. It starts in many ways with somebody that's not here, and that's Carol Atwood as our basically our chief financial officer. You can't do this stuff without money. We're very fortunate to have maintained a very solid financial base in the city. So where other cities are cutting resources and facilities, we're maintaining our operating facilities and able to do new things like this and even plan for some in the future. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that the economy comes back, that our major corporations continue to do well, that our housing prices stay up there as they have. That's the luck part of it, but there's a lot of skill involved of managing our money safely, so we're able to do things like this. Again, thanks to the Park and Recs team for all the planning and the community involvement. And in the Public Works, I'm sure that this, as many other projects, this will come in on time and under budget. So, and again, thanks to the council for their leadership in this, starting way before I got involved and continuing leadership and support through it all. So, with that, I think we're ready to do a little bit of dirt moving.
Stock and trade.